Hey everybody, welcome to Your Time to Thrive with Jason Stevens. Thank you for fixing your camera, Jay. How are you?
I'm all right, man. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
That's real life because I'm short. So like the camera's actual. This is real life. I have to actually sit up on a phone book here.
Are you sitting on a phone book?
That would fix it, wouldn't it? I could sit up like this.
I just want to know, are you sitting on a phone book? Is there a phone book underneath you?
There should be. There really should be.
What is under your butt right now?
This stool.
Uh,
What's up with my camera today?
I don't know, man.
There you go. That's better.
I don't know. So, what are we talking about today, Jay?
We are talking about one of my favorite acronyms that I learned from my dad when I was in high school. I toured around the state with him. He was giving lectures. He was a phys ed teacher and administrator of phys ed and adjunct professor of physical education his entire professional career. And he went around and spoke to a lot of colleges when I was in high school, and we toured colleges so that I could look at different campuses. And one of the founding principles that he taught to people was the acronym KISS. Now, depending on the kind of company you're in and depending on the type of emphasis that you're trying to put behind the message is still the same. Keep it simple, silly, stupid.
How about we change it? Because let's keep it positive. So I know that it's keep it simple, stupid. Let's change it to keep it super simple.
I like that. that.
So, all right, we are going to keep things super simple right now. How do we do that when it comes to health and wellness?
Well, it's part of what we've talked about, and it's coming today as a conversation because I had a conversation with a great client of mine yesterday, and it was actually feedback about the workout that they enjoyed the different types of outside the box stuff that we've done, but they really realized the benefit of what they've been doing for over a year, being able to see barometers in their strength and their mobility and their range of motion by the simple things that we did. And I'm constantly reminded by that by professionals that have been doing this for much longer than I have in the fitness industry, and by my clients, that it doesn't have to be complicated. We don't have to come up with new exercises. We don't have to come up with fancy ways of doing things. If you simply focus on those things that work and that are effective, you can be successful.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of your whole, it's kind of what you talk about every single episode, because it's what you talk about every single day,
Yes.
these simple approaches to fitness and nutrition and all of that stuff. So what are some examples of, simple, repeatable, maintainable is another buzzword that you always, another phrase that you always use, but it's all that's all the same thing. Things that are simple to understand, things that are simple to implement, things that are going to end up being repeatable, things that you're going to be able to maintain. So why do we make things so complicated when it comes to eating well and, doing some push-ups and going for a walk?
I think it's a couple pieces. Honestly, I think part of it is just sheer boredom. For some people that have been doing fitness or food focus for a period of time, they get bored. I mean, I get bored eating the same kind of food sometimes. And truthfully, your body does get bored to some degree. Essentially recognizing what you're presenting it as far as stimulus is concerned, and then it doesn't elicit the same response. This is one of the reasons that people that embark on a fitness journey, having never done a lot, whether it's a nutrition plan or it's a fitness plan, oftentimes they achieve results very, very quickly in the first few months. Like if I just started a diet and I lost 30 pounds, or I lost 10 pounds, whatever the weight is, it happened quickly, and then they start to peter off. Those results start to slow down a little bit as you get into the actual process, and we get down a year down the road, and now instead of dropping 5 pounds a week, we're like maybe dropping a pound every week or two. The truth is that it's because your body has adapted quickly, which is what we want. You want an adaptive system. That's good. But it's also because you may not be adjusting things accordingly. You may not be addressing the fact that what worked previously and initially needs to be adjusted all the time. You need to check in and see if it's being successful. So in that process, I think people get bored and they just look for something fancy, or they look for a way of making something intricate and complicated and imbalanced in the gym, when literally the fundamentals of push up, pull up, deadlift, and squat, and core stability plank movements are all that you need as far as how to elicit a response in your body. What you can do when you get bored is you can change up the way that you do some of those movements. But if you literally did that simple list of 5 to 4 exercises every week, you would get great results. And I think it's because people get bored. Go to the gym 3 to 4 days a week. I do this on repeat, and every month I'm doing the same thing. And now I'm still doing this, and it's been 6 months and I'm still bored of doing the same thing. It's like being on a treadmill. How many people spend 25, 30 minutes on a treadmill a couple times a week? I don't know how anybody else would get bored doing that.
Right.
So I think it is boredom for the most part. And it's also because oftentimes, relative to that initial response that you're getting, and we get these results and then we expect that all the time. The truth is that your results are the habit. Your results are the longevity and the quality of life. They're not those quick, hey, I lost weight, or hey, my biceps got bigger. This isn't about those quick solutions. And that's really what people are usually chasing. So then the next greatest fad of keto or carbs or sugar-free or the melon diet or the potato diet, or like whatever comes up in their feed or their world that they think is now going to solve all of their answers and answer their questions, they're looking for that, and that's what happens. People end up not recognizing that simply eating real food in good portions and exercising and moving your body regularly actually works.
Yeah. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Do you think it's also like it's marketing and beneficial financially for companies to have tried to make things super complicated, or make things have the illusion of being super simple, right? So like diet pills, or like just do this program and you're good, just do this quick fad diet and you're good. So people are being sold the illusion of things being simple.
Yes.
When in reality the answer was kind of just simply there all the time. Is that
yes?
Would that be an accurate description of that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we're very aware of the fact that the marketing companies that run our consumer world understand the human psyche better than most people do. And they're feeding that, they're certainly feeding that. They're giving you that quick fix. Here's an easy solution. Take this pill. When the truth is, it's hard work to be consistent. It's hard work to be conscious of your food on a regular basis. I work in a gym. I live in a gym. I like to actually exercise. And it's hard for me to stay consistent sometimes because I have to carve time out of my life just like everybody else. I like donuts. I like French fries, but I consciously choose to not eat those things because I know how my body feels. And also I understand my own long-term goals and I know how that applies. So even though there are certainly temptations out there and there are simple fixes and solutions, like steroids, they're going to make me bigger. Well, yeah, but you still have to do the work. So no matter what solution you're chasing, you still have to put in the effort.
Yeah, absolutely. Megan says people don't ask enough questions and listen to what they read instead of fact checking. Companies make it so complicated for people to fact check because they tailor to whoever they're reaching. Thank you, Megan.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with that. That's like read the labels. There's such a it's not a bad thing that we are inundated with as much information as we are, and we have capacity to read and find information out there, but you've got to read deeper. You definitely have to check sources. You definitely have to read into what is actually being presented. And unfortunately, here's the catchphrase here: use some common sense. Apply what you understand. Like it's calories in, calories out. You need to move your body and all of the muscles in a way that elicits a response. So it has to be strenuous and challenging while being doable. That's it. So if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And if something sounds more complicated than it needs to be, then it probably is. And it's probably unsafe, or it's probably not repeatable. So what's the point? Other than experimentation for education purposes. But we can't just take information in on the web and from Facebook or from wherever you're getting your information and just take it as word of God. You can't anymore, because anybody can sign up and print information. Just like me. Don't listen to me. Do your research. It's simply my opinion that's based on the history and experiences that I've had in my life and the education that I've received along the way. But use it as a grain of salt towards your experiences. Take this and use your own common sense. Apply it to your own lifestyle, to your own goals.
Yeah. So let's talk about monotony, right? Because when we're talking about keeping it simple, you said a lot of times people get bored.
Yes.
How do you make it not monotonous to eat clean every day, to eat roughly the same thing, to do roughly the same workouts? How do you how do you keep yourself from getting in a rut and getting bored with the simplicity of diet and exercise routines?
Well, that's a great question, actually. I think that for me,
thank you very much.
For me personally, it's about small adjustments through the process. So, for example, I deadlift every week. I know from my personal experience, my partially herniated lower disc from high school has been something that has aggravated me my entire life from that point forward, obviously. But I also know that when I do deadlifts, my back doesn't bother me because I'm strengthening that entire system that supports my spine, and thus my back doesn't bother me. However, I know that I can't do heavy deadlifts every week. So I routinely cycle different types of hinge movements in my routine so that I'm never bored doing deadlifts. 1 week it's one-legged, 1 week it's with kettlebells, 1 week it's heavy, 1 week it's light, 1 week I'm just doing explosive jumps for power hinge movements. It's just changing the same movement in a dynamic way so that it continuously challenges my body, but also then I don't get bored doing it. Same thing with the food. So you can grill off or bake off a whole bunch of chicken breasts, and you can literally eat chicken every day for the rest of your life for lunch if you want to. Now, like we talked about last week with your food prep, my recommendation is always to just salt and pepper stuff, a little bit of olive oil if you want to do that, avocado oil, wherever you're going with your healthy fats. But start with a simple seasoning so that through the week or next week, I can complicate it a little bit with some basil, or I can throw some cilantro on it, or put some rosemary on it, or I can use a different type of hot sauce at the end of the week just to spice it up a little bit, and it tastes different. So by making small adjustments to our normal course patterns, you're still maintaining the course, but you're making adjustments that keep it interesting and different. So it's not always the same old, same old. So that's why the keep it super simple makes sense, because if your baseline of food is you eat some kind of oatmeal for breakfast, you eat some kind of chicken and starch like a whole grain quinoa for lunch, and then you're doing some kind of roasted vegetables and some type of protein for dinner, that can literally be the plan. And just your seasonings, your spices, what you've added to that. Like I recommend it to you. Don't just roast off every winter vegetable you can find in the kitchen every week, because then you're going to get bored of it. Right. Don't just make the same salad with everything in the kitchen every week, because then you're going to get bored of it. Make a simple salad, some spinach, some tomatoes, some almonds, a little bit of feta, cranberries. You're done.
Yeah. I did a bunch of that this week of trying to shift things up and doing things in different ways. And
how did it go?
Really well. For the most part, it was good. I mean, I like it. I don't mind the monotony. Like I find it very easy to. I really enjoy having things prepped and not thinking about it and just grabbing something. I like it's not bad. As it's the it's the actually taking the time to prep. That's the,
Yeah.
but once that's done, it's very simple and easy, and I like it, and I like going, oh, it's 2 o'clock, I need to grab, the rice and chicken, um,
Yeah.
and
Done.
a
Done.
and a sweet potato, or oh, it's 5, I'm gonna grab the bowl of veggies. That's all really nice. I do definitely think that I need to get like a mini fridge for my work area, because I'm just not going to the kitchen enough. I don't
Yeah.
have, like, today I have literally no time between any, like, I literally booked myself so to where I don't even have like 3 minutes between things from 10 a.m. to 5.
Five,
I
maybe.
don't, yeah, I don't think I have
But
yeah, I
when the
don't think,
prompts stop showing up in your reminder list.
right, yeah. And then again, I have 6 to like 10:30 tonight booked as well.
Yeah.
So, it's but then I don't want to like forgo everything and then eat in that like hour to 2 hour window that I have in that moment, because then I'll, you know, have a bad, like, I'll feel like flushed and have like that,
Yeah.
um yeah, and then you have that response, and then you feel sluggish for the rest of the night. Like, that's not good either. So the small meals throughout the day have been really beneficial.
Love it.
And yeah, it's great. It's going
That's
well.
awesome. So are you starting to shop for something like that? You're going to get a mini micro fridge like in the dorms? We're going to do something with a microwave on it, or you think of just a small
Probably.
fridge?
I don't know. I am fine with eating things cold. We have a microwave that we're not using. That was from the old house. That's the best microwave that I've ever had in my entire life. It's seriously, it's amazing. You put something in for like 30 seconds and it's perfectly warmed. But the house came with a, like a built-in microwave
Oh
over
yeah.
the stove,
Yeah.
so we just put it in storage. So I already have a microwave that I could plug in, and yeah, just like a little fridge just to store stuff for the day. Like, grab the stuff out of the big fridge and put it in the mini fridge for the night,
Yeah.
for the next morning. So there are definitely things. Megan says, when I had a schedule like that, I literally put it in my schedule to eat at this time and made sure it was a part of my schedule. Like, in my Google Calendar, I blocked off 30 minutes to eat, or if I needed a snack, I put it in there to help. Yeah.
That's huge. So let's touch on that real quickly, relating to everything, which is kind of what you're talking about as far as making time for yourself. I highly recommend that. Schedule time for yourself, whether it's the 5 minutes before your day starts, it's the 20 minutes for you to eat lunch, it's 10 minutes to meditate, or it's like me for my workouts. I literally schedule people all day long in hour-long blocks. And if I schedule my workout on there, I'm much more likely to actually get it in, as opposed to, oh yeah, crap, I didn't work out yesterday, or I'm not going to have time today, because you literally will fill your day with other stuff and other things. And it's about making time for yourself.
Yeah.
So did you have a good week? Give yourself a grade on the efforts that we enlisted and started last week and talked about: smaller meals, you getting up 5 minutes before you had to be, or spending 5 minutes of your day taking care of yourself. Give yourself a grade, sir. How'd you do?
B minus.
Not bad. Why?
There were days that were still hectic. Yesterday I didn't. Yesterday I had to leave for work, so I had a busy morning. And then I had to go. So I rushed out of the house after a show. Uh, I had like 5 minutes to get ready and get a bunch of equipment together, and I rushed out. And then I had to drive a half hour to work for several hours there. And then so I didn't, that was a full day of
Yeah.
not a lot of water, not a lot of food, not a lot, and then I came home and I ate a bunch because I was hungry. It was fine stuff, but it was um but it wasn't the ideal thing that I wanted to do. And then, I still haven't, I haven't gotten to where I want to be as far as getting up earlier, going to bed at a reasonable time has not happened yet. Uh, yeah, going to bed at a reasonable. I was gonna say we started this before we went off camera, before we came on. You said that you didn't have a good night last night, and I was making fun of you as far as night's sleep last night. And I just remembered that I went
It
to bed
happens.
and I just remembered I went to bed at like 2 last night. So
There must have been something in the air because I had like 3 clients this morning complain about sleeping like crap last night.
yeah, but I mean, and the night before I went to bed at like 3:30. So it's not great. And I've talked about this before. I really like the momentum thing. My best days start with a good night before.
Yeah.
And because when you don't want to wake up, then you start your day really sluggish, and you start like, and like you don't. It's hard to get into stuff.
Oh,
You
yeah.
feel like crap. How do any of us become morning people? I think that it's kind of, and I don't know why I'm saying this because I do a terrible job at it myself, but I really do think that it's kind of like forcing yourself to do it. I'm buying an alarm clock right now. I'm buying an alarm clock and I'm putting it on the other side of my room.
There you go.
I have to do that because I love being a morning person. I really do. I love getting up at like 5:30 or 6 and doing a full morning routine and getting all of my work done, like the mental work that I have to do, the editing, the invoices, the emails. Like I love getting all of that stuff done before 9. And I have not done that for weeks, months maybe. So that's I think that's where it starts for me.
Yeah. Well, go back. Where's it really start? Go back about 6 hours.
Going to bed at a reasonable time.
Huge, especially for you. You've already said it. You know it. So that means, and here's the thing. It doesn't mean going to sleep necessarily. It just means getting off electronics, turning off the TV, and setting a regular bedtime. Like and then so just like we talked about with fasting, work backwards from where you are. If your average bedtime is 2:00 in the morning, well, make a point of getting your ass into bed by 1:00 in the morning for the next week, or make it like whatever it is, back it off a little bit. And then same thing with your morning. Do the same shift. Like I'm going to go to bed an hour earlier. I'm going to get up an hour earlier, or I'm going to get up 15 minutes earlier. I'm actually going to gain a little bit of sleep in this process. Because it really does start with that. It's the same reason a lot of fitness professionals will tell you to never miss a Monday in your workouts. Start your week off right. It's literally why I take 5 minutes every morning to roll, stretch, meditate, just breathe before I go out of the house or before I jump on Zoom. Because no matter what I'm doing, if I don't take 5 minutes to just kind of breathe and set and think about my day and focus, you're just going to be behind the gun catching up all day long. And you know how that feels. And it sucks. Yeah. Trust me, I hear you, Meg. Everybody's trying to be that morning person. They hear the successful people in the world. Yes. So it is positives. It's about your focus. If we focus on the negatives, then you're never going to be happy because there's always half of that glass that's gone already. But the focus, which is a great way to start your day, an attitude of gratitude, if you can literally take a minute in your car before you drive to work, or 1 minute before you actually go live on a Zoom or whatever you're doing for work right now, and actually spend 1 minute thinking about an attitude of gratitude, just something you're grateful for. Try for 3, but something you're grateful for. Start your day with positivity, or do the same thing before you go to sleep, before you fall asleep, because this is what I hear from people. I can't wind down. I have to watch TV. I got to get on my phone. I can't wind down. I'm not tired. Well, I promise you, if you actually lay in bed and close your eyes and actually focus on the things that you're grateful for in the world, eventually your body's going to shut down on you. It wants sleep anyway. And too often we're feeding our brains with stimulation and input that it can't process and shouldn't right before we go to sleep. You know, a lot of the science comes back, says at least 30 minutes before you go to bed, no stimulant, no light, no sounds. Like, you should have relaxation. Your bedroom should be a place of peace and rest. So just lay down, close your eyes, be grateful. Think about how you're going to have a good day tomorrow. What simple steps you're going to take to be successful, because that one day adds up, right? That one day that you start really good like that, like tomorrow, if you wake up 5 minutes, just spend time focused on your body for 5 minutes, stretch a little bit, breathe, look at your schedule. All right, I'm going to be crazy today. Then I need to go pack my breakfast, my lunch, and my dinner. And then you got it. Like, I always have backups in my MERS, my bag that I carry around with me all day long. I've got nuts in there, protein powder, and amino acids, because I know sometimes I run, sometimes people shift on my schedule and I can't get home for food. I can't get a break in the afternoon. I need something because Jason's a cranky guy without the food. So I know without that backup, I'm in trouble. So recognize those things and keep your process simple. Like, just know yourself. So there's your homework, sir, for the week.
Well, thank you so much for that.
Keep it. Keep doing what you're doing. I like the food prep.
Thanks. I need to do more of it, a lot more of it. But
Yeah.
regardless, thanks, man. And I had something else I was going to say, and I don't remember what it was.
Pertaining to what we're talking about, or something
I don't know.
completely rando?
No, it was pertaining to what we're talking about. Oh, so this is an adage that I've always loved and adopted and tried to use as much as possible, which is like like I love momentum personally. Like, I love having a good night and then that leading into a good morning,
Yes.
but like, if you and I said, like Dana commented and said that she's struggling with or he, I don't know, Dana is a man or a woman's name, so I don't know, I shouldn't say that. Though, I'm sure. I struggle with getting to a healthy place. It really just starts with small steps. Yeah, you can take that small step right now. Like,
Yes.
if you're like my good tomorrow is going to start right now.
Yes.
And by and that's I think important, and part of the keep it super simple. Like, you don't have to wait for a day or wait, you can take that moment of gratitude, like you said, and change your perspective and change your mindset and attack things in a positive way. And So I think that that's really important. Jason, let's end today with a moment of gratitude as a practice. So you like to start each day with 3 things that you're grateful for. Is that right?
I try to. Yeah, absolutely.
All
It's
right.
at least one.
So let's do it. Three things that you're grateful for.
3 things that I'm grateful for. I'm grateful
Yeah.
for those that have come before me, my family, my parents, my grandfathers, my grandmothers, because I constantly hear their voices in my head. I'm grateful for an amazing partner. My fiance is a beautiful, amazing, talented, energetic, independent woman, and she's probably the best thing that ever happened to me. And I'm grateful for the amazing people that I deal with every day, because people like you that I've known for years, that I met through work, have become some of the best friends in my life and have taught me so much. And I wouldn't be the person I am today without all of you guys.
Can I just steal those 3?
Yeah.
Those were amazing. Wait, no, I don't have a, hold on. No, I don't have a fiance.
Yeah.
So I can't steal the second one.
So you get to go. Your turn.
All right. Well, I do love you're thanking your parents and grandparents and all of that stuff that you just said. That means a lot to me right now. Obviously, my dad passed away 2 weeks ago, so I've been thinking a lot about that. But I also had the opportunity to look at family tree, the beginning of a family tree, last week, and found out some cool stuff that I didn't know. Like, I don't think that my last name maybe is supposed to be Barber, and
Wow.
yeah, and like, where one of my great grandmothers immigrated from, and like cool stuff. And So it's all, that's all fun to like to really think about where you come from, and the fact that so many people, you know, did things that resulted in you, did positive things mostly, that resulted in you being here and paved the way for you. So that's always a nice thing to be grateful for sure. And my immediate, you know, parents. Um,
Yes.
and then number two for me, I always put this. Um, like every time I do a morning journal most days, and like the 5 minute journal, and I always put this as one of them, which is I'm grateful that today is a new opportunity to do something great.
Love that.
Um, and then third, yeah, really are my friends. Like I have three amazing best friends that I see every day, and you know, it's incredible. They are my family now, and that's incredible. And all of the people that I work with, uh, who are just also incredible human beings, and I love what I'm getting to do. So like people told me to take time off, right? People, uh, even before my dad died 2 weeks ago, people were like, you should take a week. You
Yes.
know, you're doing too much stuff. You should take a week and like calm down. And I was like, yeah, I should. And then he passed away, and then I spent, and I did the fair that week, which was the most
Yeah.
insane 5 days. And then that Monday after the fair, I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take it slow. I'm gonna, you know, I'll text Dave to take over some of my shows for the week. And I got to noon. I got to 11:45 in the morning on Monday, and I went, I don't want to stop. I don't want to take a week off. I want to, like, I love this. I love talking to you or helping, you know, uh I get to like help people um get the information that they need from the government right now, which is insane, and ask direct questions of people. And I got to, if I had taken last week off, five insanely talented high school kids got to present their business ideas to a panel of judges of business owners in Rhode Island, and then won scholarships, like $15,000 worth of scholarships. And like I was able to be a part of that, and you know, 10 church streams a week. Like I get to do a lot of cool stuff,
Yeah.
and I'm grateful for all of it, because it all gives me, and like, why would I want to take a week off from this? Like, this is a great way to, you know. And also my dad was an insane workaholic, so like he would want me to not dwell as much, and focus on the stuff that's, you know, helping people, and bringing me joy. So like I'm just grateful for most things in life at the moment.
That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing.
Thanks, dude.
You've earned it,
Well,
man. You've earned it.
thank you. Where can people find you?
ThriveTrainingTeam.com is the best place. There are links for all social media options on there, and you can shoot me a message directly. At the bottom of every page is a contact option. If anybody has any questions relating to health and fitness, please reach out. That's what I'm here for. Questions are free. Keep it simple, friends, and have a great day.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, buddy. We'll see you soon, man.